So ever since the consoles have launched, we as gamers have been clamoring for news about the Xbox Series X and what we should expect for the future of the console. And that goes with Sony also. We also look to the PS5 and we want to know new games that are coming out. And usually we get the most news at massive gaming events, where companies like Microsoft and Sony can announce some great things for their products. And one such event is about to take place this week with the 2020 Video Game Awards, which, if we remember, this event has actually turned into one of the biggest gaming shows of the year because there's a lot of news announcements, not to mention a bunch of world premieres of massive games that all gamers look forward to. So when I hear something about Xbox going to the Game Awards and not just attending, but announcing something, I tend to pay attention, especially after last year where Phil Spencer walked out on stage for the same event in 2019 and announced the next generation Xbox Series X. And not only announced it, but he also showed the console and even premiered Hellblade 2, which is looking like one of the best looking games we've ever seen. After that massive showing last year, I can tell that Xbox does want to continue to build up hype for their console, especially when Christmas holiday season is right around the corner. And the best way to do that is to announce new games, and maybe a couple games come into the Xbox Game Pass, because I have a feeling Xbox wants to end the year strong and go into the new year with Xbox being at the top of the gaming world hype. So let's get into this article and also see what Jeff Grubb, who's a pretty reliable insider, had to say, because this leak and this information comes directly from Jeff Grubb, who has made some amazing statements that have come true. So obviously he knows people in the industry, but also Xbox has announced that they'll be at the Game Awards. Let's hope this new announcement coming to the Game Awards is something huge. Let's dive into it. But first, like always, if you liked the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. So I do have to say that this is confirmed, and this isn't just a leak, but more of a confirmation that Xbox will be at the Game Awards with some sort of announcement. And if we look at history, we can easily see that Xbox will try to show something big for their Xbox Series X console. Now, of course, last year they showed off the new console, and if they want to match that type of announcement, they'll have to show something big, which isn't out of the ordinary. And it's something that the article talks about here. Microsoft will reportedly make an announcement at the Game Awards next week. Microsoft has shown that historically it's willing to reserve its highest tier announcements for the awards show, such as last year's Xbox Series X console reveal. As I've said before, we can easily see that the announcements at this show could be substantial, and not only from Xbox, but other companies as well. But for now, let's just focus on Xbox and what they could potentially show us, because these potential announcements have been hinted at for a little while now, especially from Xbox, and it would seem that all of those rumors of Xbox showing up to the Game Awards is real. Like Jeff Grubb said on a podcast he hosts, but not only Jeff Grubb, but Xbox has said they'll be at the show after they showed off the amazing additions to the Xbox Game Pass for December. Here's what the article had to say about the whole situation. That's according to prominent games journalist Jeff Grubb, who made the claim during a GamesBeat video stream on Friday, but did not share further details on what it could entail. Microsoft itself has hinted that it could participate in the show's announcements by prominently tweeting to its fans to tune into the show on December 10th. It also concluded December's Game Pass update with, "See you at the Game Awards, friends." Okay, so let's talk about the potential games that might be announced at the awards show, because I have a feeling there's going to be some great games that might be shown finally. And one of those games has to be the Initiatives game, which has been in development for about 2 years now. And if I had to guess, this game is about 2 more years away and deep in development. So when I think about a huge announcement from Xbox, I always refer to the Initiative because they're the biggest mystery at Xbox. They've talked about the studio multiple times and even had a huge announcement of their creation in front of E3 in 2018. They have hired multiple, and I mean multiple, talented people from all over the gaming world. So they've been in the spotlight for quite some time, and I know gamers are excited to see what type of game they're working on, especially since developers from the studio have hinted that they're playing the game and they have lots of things falling into place. I also know for a fact that this studio is still a little small and are still filling out the most senior positions at the studio. Will they ramp up production and hiring next year in 2021 to push the game out in 2022? Maybe, but that doesn't mean they don't have the base game down and most likely have all the creative parts of the game done. Either way, I have a feeling we'll finally get to see this game in action, or the very least, an announcement with a title screen, because I just think it's about time we see what the Initiative is cooking. Next up is a studio I have a feeling a lot of people forgot about, and that's Compulsion Games. Now, if you remember, this studio was announced at E3 2018, just like The Initiative, the same show that showed off all those other studios joining Xbox, including The Initiative. But let's focus on Compulsion Games, who have not announced anything so far when it comes to a new game. And if I'm being honest, I have a feeling they've been quietly building a new game in the background the last 2 years. And if we're being honest, it takes about 2 years for a studio to get an idea down and actually have a lot of things ready to show off. And that's exactly where Compulsion Games are at, because the last game they brought out was We Happy Few, which was released in 2018 summer. So while they had some small expansions for the game, they didn't really show off anything new. And if we're being honest, they might be one of the new studios that are making a AAA game we haven't seen from Xbox yet. Now, I know this wasn't a huge studio that people were excited about, but I have a feeling they'll come out with something that might surprise gamers. We know they've been hiring like every single other studio that's joined the Xbox Game Studio family. That means they've been hiring like crazy. So let's hope we get something from them and it's a new game or even IP, because I feel that's the main thing Xbox needs. A new IP from a creative team that people aren't familiar with. Kind of shake it up, give us something we haven't seen before, and I have a feeling Compulsion Games can do that, especially with how creative they are. No matter what people think about We Happy Few, it's still a very unique way to look at a game, and it makes me feel a little different when I did play it. It just had this unique way of looking at the world and gaming. Next up is something I have a feeling will happen, because again, this is just me putting things together, and that's Forza Horizon 5, the brand new Forza game from Playground Games. Now, if we remember a few weeks ago, Jeff Grubb, the same person that's just said he expects announcements from Xbox at the Game Awards, said that Xbox might release Forza Horizon 5 before they bring out the next Forza Motorsport. Even though they announced Forza Motorsport just this last summer and talked about how it's going to really push the boundaries of the next generation hardware, but if we remember, the more commercially successful game is Forza Horizon overall. The game is huge and a lot of people truly buy Xboxes for this Forza Horizon games. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the new game be announced and come out for holiday 2021 season, because it's a major draw and the Xbox Series X/S won't have any production troubles and people will be able to get their hands on the new system. And why not have Forza Horizon 5 sitting there in waiting and bringing it to Game Pass while everybody's buying these consoles up like crazy at the end of 2021, where shortages are just not going to be there anymore. Those are the main 3 games I have a feeling will be at the show. Now, of course, there could be others, and I have a feeling we might see Hellblade 2 show up, especially since it's been a full year since we first saw it. So I expect maybe an update on the game and maybe even a gameplay showing. But with the situation going on around the world, I do have to think that Hellblade 2 was hurt more than any other game, especially with the mocap needed for the game, and they couldn't do mocap because of what's going on with everything around the world. Now, as for other studios working on games, you would think that Halo Infinite would be a game that would get a showing, especially with a not so favorable showing the game had during the summer Xbox event. But from what the studio and Xbox have said, it won't be showing up at the Game Awards, which is something the article brings up here. One game that will reportedly not appear is Halo. 343 Industries has told fans last month that Halo Infinite won't be shown at the Game Awards. However, the studio said it was hoping to provide a high-level update on the delayed game in the coming weeks before restarting the journey to release with fans again next summer. So with that being said, I do have to say that I have a feeling Halo Infinite will get a huge delay, because the way the game was received by gamers wasn't the best, and with Halo it deserves to be the best shooter out there. I don't just say that because I'm an Xbox fan, I say that as a gamer who loves to see Halo release, because it's the biggest franchise by far that Xbox has, and it deserves the attention to detail we all expect it to have. But as for the Game Awards event, I'm happy that Xbox will show up, and I'm also hopeful that Sony shows up with some gameplay from their first-party games, because we all know that EA will be there, and they might have some new footage on Dragon Age 4, which is a game I'm looking forward to. And from what I've been seeing, this Game Awards show might be just one of the biggest gaming shows of the year, and that's with both Sony and Xbox having 2 pretty big shows that really showed off the games coming to their platforms. I just hope with Phil Spencer and a lot of other top industry developers showing up, this Game Awards show can bring some memorable moments that gamers can enjoy. And the best way to do that is give us big announcements of games we all want to play. Let's hope Xbox provides just that. But enough of what I think about all of this. Tell me what you think about all of this. Will the Initiative's game be shown off? What type of game do you think they're making? Will most of the games be AAA games? What other publishers will show up to the show? Will we get any gameplay from these games? Will this be one of the best gaming shows of the year? What studio or game are you looking forward to the most? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamer tag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So, I'm going to be real. I've been playing Immortals Fenyx Rising, and I have to say, this is quickly becoming one of my games of the year because I freaking love it. It's so fun. The controls are tight. It's the people behind Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I just love the game. I think the world is amazing. The colors are vibrant. The HDR kicks, and it runs at 60 on my Series X, and so I just love how smooth it is, and I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of break between combat, puzzles, and just exploring. I find that really cool, and it really is Breath of the Wild, and Assassin's Creed had a baby, and this game was made, and I love it. I think it's great. There's a lot of cool combat. There's a lot of things that you can do to really defeat your enemies, and I've been playing it like crazy. So this game I actually picked up and put Assassin's Creed Valhalla down. I'll save Assassin's Creed when the holidays come in and I don't really have many games coming out, and you know what? I'm going to wait for Cyberpunk. I know. People are going to attack me for that, but I really want to wait and see if they have the next-gen patches for it because I want to play that game at 60. I can't go back to 30 frames per second. I just can't. It's way too jarring. I'm used to 60 now, and this is what I want. I've played Miles Morales at 60 and every other game on my Series X at 60 or 120. But let me know what you're playing. Go down below. Are you playing any of the new games? Are you playing Immortals? Because that game's a lot of fun. Or are you playing Assassin's Creed or something on your PS5? Let me know down below. I love talking about games, and I want to know what everybody's playing. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. And until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.